Oh yeah, another Tech Preacher podcast show. Man, we're gonna have us some fun on this one. You know what? We look, it's confusing sometimes when you see a company do something stupid stuff, right? But we got to call them out for what they are, right? Look, I'm confused. Maybe it's marketing, maybe it's not. You know, today we're gonna talk about Oneplus, right? Because one of the most anticipated devices that's we was waiting on in 2023 is the Oneplus Pad. And you know what? I saw some videos on it. I saw some hands-on on it. It looked like a pretty sleek tablet. But here's the problem. It's OnePlus. Whether or not it's going to be the marketing department, whether or not it's going to be something else. But I mean, they absolutely confusing me on this one. So let's have a conversation about it, right? Man, first of all, I want to welcome everybody to the podcast. But you know what? This is confusing to me, right? OnePlus Pad. It's oh man, I don't even know where to start. Let me start by saying this. In the United States, we need competition because the two big dogs, whether or not it's going to be Apple and Samsung, they're the ones that are most dominant in the United States. So we look for other companies to step up to the plate, whether or not it's going to be OnePlus, whether or not it's going to be Motorola, whether or not another company that's going to sneak in the United States to try to do something to try to gain market share, right? Because in the United States, you know, the dominance of Apple and the dominance of Samsung is something that we try to break people from, let people know that there are other brands. I mean, listen, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest to the T, right? Tech enthusiasts is the ones that will go, to websites, Amazon or, other type of websites, imports and stuff like that to import devices in, right? They do that type of stuff. Tech enthusiasts do that because they understand tech. They know specs. They know what they want. They want the best of both worlds. They want a great device at a cheap price. They want all the bells and whistles. So by doing that, they do their research. They squander down on the website. They look at tech videos like my videos and other people's videos, and they get the better bang for their buck. So tech enthusiasts do that. But in the United States, the tech enthusiasts is there, but not a lot of them, right? I mean, yes, you do have a lot of tech enthusiasts, right? But when you come down to the normal folk, the common folk, right? You have your two dominants, which is Samsung and Apple. So when you talk about things like OnePlus or Motorola and stuff like that, they have a very tough time to try to infiltrate the United States. Now, once you get out of the United States, it becomes a different flavor. You have all kinds of different, companies like Xiaomi and Vivo and stuff like that does their thing overseas. But in the United States, us United States tech reviewers, we try to give people alternatives as far as other devices that's good, better bang for your buck. But it's very difficult to try to sway people from a Samsung or Apple when they have this mentality of Samsung is the best and Apple is the best. That means that nobody else could do anything better, anything good. Well, it hurts when we talk about that, companies like OnePlus coming in with a tablet, look like a very good tablet, but the marketing strategy is totally off base here. And I'm going to just talk about this for a second. Okay, so the OnePlus Pad and what OnePlus is doing is kind of funny, and it's a first tablet, right? And the OnePlus Pad, supposed to be released in next month, which is going to be in May. Right now it's up for pre-order. Pre-order is going to be up until the 28th, and then they're going to start shipping on the 8th of May. But what OnePlus did was mind-boggling. There's something that is mind-boggling to me. What OnePlus did was when they started their pre-order, right? They wanted you to put down $99, $100 down, as far as a deposit on the pre-order. They call it a blind sale, and they would, which is fine if you wanted to put down a deposit down on the tablet, right? But here's the problem. The problem is that we don't know the price of the tablet. Right? We don't know the price of the tablet. And that's the most confusing part. Why would I give a company $100 of my money when I don't even know the price of the product? Right? So they claim that they will make the pricing availability, the pricing, they would make the pricing public on April 25th. Now, I'm doing this podcast on April 12th. I'm sorry, you would see this podcast on April 13th. But I'm making this podcast and they started pre-orders on April 10th. And so what they did was they said, okay, cool. You can reserve this tablet, but put down $100. But once the tablet price get revealed, and if you purchase the tablet after the price get revealed and stuff like that, once you finish your pre-order, then on May 8th, they will, ship it out 1 or 2 days, right? First, we don't know the pricing of the device. Second, it is saying that, okay, you would get amazing gift. Like you'll get either the keyboard or the pen, right? And the keyboard costs $149. So actually you get the keyboard for $100. You get $50 off, which is not bad. But what if people want to buy this thing and they don't want the keyboard, they don't want the pen? So that's something that you got to think about. Also, OnePlus is releasing this thing in one color, which is the Halo Green. Now, to me, it looks okay. I mean, for a tech enthusiast, I mean, it's okay. But I mean, usually when companies come out with a tablet, there'll be either a black color, which is a neutral color, but OnePlus is coming out with a Halo Green. And I don't know if I like this color. It's kind of a, up and down color. And they got the keyboard and they have the pen that comes, not comes with it, but everything is separate. But the biggest problem that I have about this is that we don't know the cost of it, right? We don't know the price of it. Now, let's talk about some of the key specs here, right? Some of the key specs is going to be 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, Oxygen OS 13.1, the MediaTek Dimensity 9000. You're going to get the GPU is going to be the ARM G710, MC10. It's going to have a 9500 milliamp battery with 67 watt charging on it, right? So that's going to be the specs of the device. The problem is look, for tablets. Well, what I look for in tablets is this, right? Obviously, it probably won't have SD card support. So 128 gigs is something that concerns me, right? UFS 3.1 storage on this thing. One of the things that concerns me about this tablet is the storage, because listen, in 2023, 128 gigs, unfortunately, is not enough, right? Especially if you're going to hold on to a tablet for doing gaming or work and all kinds of things for years. For a very long time. And a lot of people might say, well, 128 gigs may be fine. Yes, until you download 4 or 5 games and then you're doing documents and you try to do a whole lot of different things, then you find yourself not having a lot of storage after about a year or so. So I think 128 gigs is looking at the base option here is just not enough. Because if you look at, again, if you usually, and this is what I mean by usually people that buy tablets, computers, stuff like that, they buying them for years. They want to use it for years. That means that you want to buy the best of the best. You want to get as much storage, as much power and stuff like that up front, so you don't have to worry about it for years. And unfortunately, OnePlus is not going to bring it. And listen, here's the problem. When you hear specs like this, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage and stuff like that, when you hear specs like that, 11.61 inch tablet. Now, it's not even OLED, it's LCD, all right? And you have an 88% body to ratio, right? With a resolution of 2800 by 2000. And look like we might have a refresh rate between 120. I see something that says 144 hertz, which is great. That'd be a high refresh rate. The brightness is at 500 nits. When you hear stuff like this, right, you would believe and you would think that this tablet would be hovering around, I would say $499 maybe. But we all know the reality part about it is that this tablet is going to be pretty expensive. We don't know though. That's the whole problem. Why would I put $100 down and all of a sudden in 2 weeks when you reveal the price, what if it's $800? What if it's $900? I don't want the tablet at that point, right? So it gives me thoughts that OnePlus is gathering all these people $100, right, for 2 weeks, because I mean they're not going to reveal the price until the 25th. That means they took from the April 10th all the way to the 25th of people pre-ordering and locking in their money for all this long time. And then they reveal a price. And if it's a price that you don't like, then you got to, get your refund. And I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take for you to get your deposit back and stuff like that. What if the keyboard is not the keyboard that you like, so it has so many different wrong factors involved in this. And I don't like it, man. Listen, you got problems here. OnePlus got this. This is terrible marketing. Listen, don't play games with people, man. Don't play games with people, man. Listen, come out with a great product, reveal the specs, reveal the price, give the consumer what they want. Don't come up with this crap of a blind sale test, blind sales and all this stuff like that. This is something that annoys me. This is something that pulls consumers away from brands because of these stupid marketing tactics. It don't excite me to give you $100 and I don't know the price of the product. I mean, come on, man. I mean, what kind of sales tactic is this, man? I don't understand OnePlus sales tactics here, right? And listen, when you look at the specs, right? When you look at, listen, I'm gonna say this, that 8 gigs of RAM, Dimensity 9000, it's going to be a pretty decent spec wise as far as performance. It's going to be a pretty good tablet, but here's the problem, right? The problem is that when you look at, and I'm gonna go to Amazon here, because Amazon has been my trusted website for buying a lot of stuff, right? And let me say this. Now, the OnePlus Pad is an 11-inch tablet, right? It's 11-inch. Right, with the Dimensity 9000, all right, with 8 gigs of RAM. If it costs $599, $699, $799, then you got problems. Because I'm online right now and I see the Galaxy Tab S7, which is another 11-inch tablet with 128 gigs, it has SD card support, wonderful specs, 8 gigs of RAM, 865 plus processor, right? And it has a AMOLED display at 2560 by 1600, 120 hertz display on it, right? I'm sorry, I think this is going to be the LCD one, but this is the 11-inch for $394. So anything that's going to be above $400, then you have competition in the Samsung tablet. Now, I don't know about you, but the Samsung tablet does come with the pen. Now, the OnePlus Pad does not come with the pen. So everything's going to be separate. Listen, the only reason why I want to compare is because when you look at how in the United States, if you want to compete, and I want people to come in the United States to compete, right? I want people to learn and know other options. You have to give us options, right? Options is good. Options will tell people like Samsung and Apple to step their game up. But when you have crap like this, blind sales, and you don't really know too much about the tablet, you got one color. I mean, listen, man, a Halo Green, which I'm looking at the Halo Green. I mean, listen, it may not appeal to everybody. Some people like neutral colors, black, white, or you could have the black or silver, right? Listen, black, silver, and you could have the Halo Green in the mix, right? But having one option, one color option, and stuff like that, then it raised the eyebrow. Then when you look at the tablet itself, it does have thick bezels around the sides, right? Listen, for tablets, it's okay to have a little thick bezels. But the problem is, it's all about the price. Man, listen, a lot of people will buy into your product if you be upfront and truthful to them. OnePlus have been going through this unbalanced, ways for the last couple of years. OnePlus have not, I don't know, man, they've lost their ways a little bit, right? They've lost their ways and they try to make a comeback. And with the OnePlus 11, great price, $699, awesome product, right? But they lost their ways a little bit. It's some things you have to acknowledge. We need OnePlus in the United States. We need Motorola in the United States. We need them to stay competitive. Obviously, we see Motorola kind of fizzle out in the United States. We lost, HTC. We lost BlackBerry, man. We lost LG. I mean, we lost a lot of competitors in the United States. Listen, I do not want the United States dominated by Samsung, but look like that's where it's going, right? I do not want the United States dominated by Apple, but look like that's the way it's going. Apple and Samsung does have a great product, right? A very expensive product. And what we've seen over the course of years with Apple and Samsung, they get on there and they talk about innovation and they talk about the consumer experience and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is they have eliminated aspects of the consumer experience. They have took away from the consumer experience. The unboxing experience is probably the worst I've ever seen in memories, right? You don't get a lot of things anymore, right? You don't listen, man, for $1,000 phone. And I say this, the most embarrassing unboxing experience that I ever had. And I didn't even make a video about it because I don't do unboxings anymore, because unboxing has been a tragedy. The most embarrassing unboxing that I ever did was the S23 Ultra. I mean, you talking about it was embarrassing for a $1,500 phone. Think about this, right? I got the 512 version. After tax. Listen, man, a lot of people, well, you keep on quoting $1,500. Listen, man, after tax, after swiping the card, that's how much you pay. Okay. So when you talk about a $1,500 phone at a 512 or whatever, if you get the 128, that's whatever floats your boat. But when you get that phone and you done paid over $1,000 for that phone, the first thing you will want is get that experience. Listen, man, it's an experience to unbox something because you feel that you done paid so much money for a product, for a device, that the first thing your experience is when you take the cover off that, you want to get this outstanding experience. But unfortunately, what Samsung did was totally crazy, right? Apple do the same thing. But when I open up the box of the Galaxy S23 Ultra, right, it's embarrassing. I mean, they don't even put a damn screen protector on it anymore, right? It was a piece of black paper that's sitting on top of the display, right? And when I unboxed mine was damn near fizzling off. I mean, it's embarrassing. I mean, once you take it out the box, you don't get no power brick. I mean, you don't get anything. I mean, listen, man, when we used to get Galaxy Note devices, we used to get, the AKG headphones. You used to get extra tips. You used to get all kinds of goodies in the box. For $1,000, it's no way, and I don't care what nobody say, there's no way you can't sit up here and argue me down that less is better. You can't sit up and tell me if you're going to have a 45-watt device that can charge 45 watts, but don't give you the charger in the box. Plus, knowing we found out that the charging cable doesn't support 45 watts. So you just screwed up two ways. And listen, I'm talking about Samsung because here's the thing. Samsung people bloat on how it's the best phone on the planet and blow on this and blow on that, right? But at the end of the day, when you're paying $1,500, the unboxing experience is your first impressions. And when you take it out of the box, it blows you at that point. I believe it's a downhill experience once you take it out of once you look at the unboxing experience. But I say that is because this is why we need competition. This is why we need people like Oneplus to come in, Motorola to come in, the other brands to come in and showcase their style, so we can, motivate people to look at other brands and look at other scenarios and stuff like that. But going back to it, but I'm saying is it was the worst unboxing experience that I ever had with the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And I mean, look, I haven't made too many videos of the Galaxy S23 Ultra, but I just look at the experience overall. If you had a Galaxy S22 Ultra gone to the Galaxy S23 Ultra, now if you had both of the devices for maybe the last month or two, then you kind of think to yourself, wow, I mean, if you paid $1,500, which I think I paid $1,400 for the S22 Ultra, now I paid $1,500 for the S23 Ultra, you say to yourself, is it a $1,500 upgrade? And the answer to that question is hell no. It's a $1,500 upgrade, right? But I do understand people say, oh, I got it on the carrier. I extended out myself all the way to about 70 months and all that stuff like that. That's each their own. But what I'm saying with OnePlus, man, right? OnePlus has to do better. They need to do better. They can't come out with a marketing gimmick like this in 2023 and expect us to be hip, hip, hooray. Let me give OnePlus $100 of my money. Let them hold it for weeks. And all of a sudden on the 25th, you reveal a price. And if the price is something that's spectacular, good deal, right? You won. But if the price is too high compared to other tablets, then you have a problem. Now, listen, OnePlus is digging themselves a huge grave with this one. Listen, man, it's an Android tablet, for Christ's sakes, man. Come on, man. Listen, man, let's call it how we see it. It's an Android tablet. What kind of extra experience that I'm going to get on the OnePlus Pad compared to other Android tablets, right? I mean, we've been having Android tablets for a very long time. I'm not saying that it's not going to be a good tablet, but in the Android ecosystem, man, you got tablets that range from $99 on up to, I mean, the Tab S8 Ultra is, $1,000, man. So you have to be in the range of all of that. And then you have to bring a good experience, and not telling us the price already have you below the belt. So I don't understand why OnePlus would do this. Listen, a lot of people might say, well, easy, go get a keyboard. Okay, well, what if I don't want the keyboard? What if the keyboard is something that I don't want? What if it's a bad experience? Well, you're going to get $99 off the tablet. But what if the tablet's $800? I'm not paying. And listen, man, this is OnePlus first tablet, right? I think this is their first tablet, right? Listen, man, if you go come out with a tablet like this, be straightforward to the consumer. Man, I wouldn't pay a hair over $500 for this thing, man. And, I mean, it is what it is, even with the Dimensity 9000, but that's just my personal preference. But I'm just saying, like, why would OnePlus come out with a tablet and don't tell you a price? Why would they want you to pre-order something and get your money and they don't even tell you how much the thing costs? I mean, come on, man. These are tactics that OnePlus have done back then when they first came out with the invite system and all that stuff like that. Man, come on, this is crazy, man. In 2023, man, give us a damn price, man. Tell us how much this thing gonna cost. Say, okay, cool. You pre-order now. I mean, we're gonna start shipping the device on May 8th. You got 3 weeks before May 8th or whatever as I'm recording this podcast. And you say, you know what? Come on, man, give us a price. $3.99, $4.99, $5.99. Okay, cool. Let's go on and buy the thing and roll with it, right? You got an optional keyboard and an optional pen. Okay, cool. What if I don't want it? I mean, I got a lot of Bluetooth keyboards and all hanging around my studio, so I may not want it, right? I mean, I got my deck station sitting over here, right? So I got my deck station already, man. So I mean, will OnePlus have a desktop mode? Obviously they got the pencil, but will they have a desktop mode? Will they have a wireless desktop mode that will kind of replace what I already have? See, what I'll be looking for is these companies to come out and replace what I have. I want companies to replace what I have. Like if OnePlus came out and said, hey, listen, we got a good keyboard experience. We're going to have the pen. We're going to have you, desktop mode. We're going to give you all kinds of good software for business and for play, right? Because when I look at my devices, I look at my devices two ways. I look at my devices for business because I utilize my devices a lot for business. and then I look at for play, you're playing games and stuff like that. Listen, 128 gigs is not enough. That's one thing. So they definitely need to come out with at least a 256 or 512 option probably in the future, but not as far as pre-order, you don't get nothing but 128 gigs. Listen, this is probably going to be a low-end mid-range tablet. It's not going to be because here's the thing. You can't do 128 gigs, as a flagship tablet and don't have no other options, man. And I think that's the problem. I mean, I'm looking at their website and that's all they offered is the Halo Green, 144 hertz refresh rate, 67-watt charger, which I'll give credit to OnePlus that they will have the charger in the box. They're not going to give you the pen and they're not going to give you the keyboard. So, the charger in the box is good. 500 nits of brightness, not bad, right? So I'm looking forward to looking at something like that. I wish it was OLED, but it's LCD. I wish it had 12 gigs of RAM, but it has 8. I wish it had at least 256 gigs of storage, but it only have 128. OnePlus don't have SD card support, so this tablet is not going to have SD card support. So when you look at all of that, man, this is a short-term tablet. This is a tablet that you buy. It's not going to be something that you can take serious, and that's the thing. Looking at the specs, looking at the Dimensity 9000. I love the Dimensity processor, so I know it's going to be fast. I know OnePlus do a great job at making sure things are fast, but is this a mid-range, low-end tablet? Look like it is, man. I mean, look, the Dimensity 9000 is a great chipset. So I don't know. I just don't like the crap that they pull it, man. I just don't like that. And I don't know. A lot of people might say, well, easy. I don't know, man. I don't know what company that would tell you that you could pre-order, right? And all of a sudden they want you to give them all kinds of money up front and all that stuff like that. I don't know, man. It's just, it's strange, man. Listen, even when Samsung do their pre-order, they charge your card when the device is ready to ship. So you do the pre-order, in about a week or so, you might get a hit on your credit card, and all of a sudden you get an instant email and say, hey, your device has shipped. That's what I like. You know what the price is up front. At checkout, when they do the pre-orders, you already know everything. You already know, from the beginning to the end, you know everything about the device. You know everything about what's in the box. You know everything about it, period. So when you check out, you already know what you're getting. But in this case, OnePlus is doing the opposite. Their marketing strategy is pretty bad here, man. And I don't know, is it just me or is it, I just don't understand why OnePlus is doing this. Taking it that they do have other companies, competition out there that will beat you to the punch when it comes down to specs, when it comes down to functionality, when it comes down to a lot of different aspects. So I just don't understand why OnePlus is doing this. All right. Oh, man, this is frustrating, man. All right, another Tech Preacher podcast, baby. Man. Oh, yeah. Man, thank y'all guys very much for watching another episode of the Tech Preacher podcast, baby. Thank y'all guys, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Android podcast. I mean, listen, I have my podcast all over, man, and I really do appreciate that people love to listen to my commentary, man. And hey, listen, we gonna keep it up. We gonna keep it rolling, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Thank y'all guys for another episode of the Tech Preacher podcast. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to Easy Computer Solutions, baby. Make sure you subscribe and go out and go on all the podcast channels and make sure you lock down, subscribe to the podcast channels, baby, and listen to the Tech Preacher, baby, rant. Thank y'all guys very much. I really do appreciate that. And we gonna get out of here, baby. Later. Thank you.